Welcome to the Be Student Podcast, and thank you for joining me. On today's episode, we are going to be sitting down with a London-based fashion stylist and brand consultant, Fiona Rubie, who's going to share with us how you can enhance your sense of professional presence and how you can build trust with your clients and external stakeholders. So let's get started. Guest is London-based fashion stylist and brand consultant Fiona Rubie. She's the former fashion director at Boat International magazine and former senior fashion editor at Harper's Bazaar UK and the InStyle magazine based in the UK. Her portfolio spans editorial, luxury jewelry, and celebrity styling, with credits touching names like Eva Green, Linda Evangelista, and brand work with Graff, Monica Vinader, and Bergdorf Goodman. She shares styling tips publicly and keeps an elegant, vintage-inflected aesthetic across her portfolios and her social media. Fiona, thank you so much for being with us today.
Absolute pleasure, Betsy. So exciting to see you.
So on this podcast, we focus on the B side of people's records. So, you know, when records came out, we won't date ourselves, but the A side of the record was the hit that the record company thought was going to really be a commercial success. Yeah. And then on the B side, the artist got to put the cut they were really passionate about. So what we want to do today is kind of course, you're a successful fashion stylist and style editor, but we want to go deeper and explore the humanity of you that makes that so special. So we want to talk about your history, but I know the things that our listeners are going to love about this episode, and I can't wait to get started. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do through the lens of fashion, and then we'll unpack some more.
Well, I think when I first started in fashion, all I wanted to do was be a magazine editor. That was my dream. I just wanted to be in that world, basically the world of The Devil Wears Prada. That was my world. And I remember my first cover on someone who is very famous right now was with Emily Blunt, who's about to star in that new movie with Dwayne Johnson called A Smashing Machine. And it was at the height of her moment when, you know, A Devil Wears Prada had just come out. And I remember I was squeezing her into this Prada dress and we zipped it up and she was so happy and I was so happy because we really wanted to put Prada on the cover. And she said to me, "Is it really like that in the fashion cupboard?" And I said, "It's worse."
It's worse?
Yeah.
So first of all, tell everybody what the fashion cupboard is.
Well, the fashion cupboard is
is
where you train to become a fashion editor, because you're just in the cupboard, you're assisting all the editors, and you're going on trips, and basically you're packing suitcases. And in those days, we wrapped the Manolos in tissue paper, and we took care of everything. Whereas now I think it's a bit more slapdash, and they just chuck it all in.
So wait, you're in the cupboard, and you're curating outfits for who to wear? For the models, for shoots?
For the models, for shoots,
okay.
And for the celebrities, for covers, when you're an assistant. And then when you become an editor, you hardly enter that cupboard ever again, and you're so thrilled not to.
You send your minions to the cupboard.
Yes, and then you just check the looks.
So we're going through the hierarchies of fashion here today. I love this, all right?
And she was wonderful. She was so funny, and it was just one of those little moments where I was like, thank God I did this as my job, because I'm spending my whole day with Emily Blunt. I'm putting her in Prada. It's going to be the cover. And it was an exciting moment. But then magazines changed as we approached this dreadful 2020 of COVID. Mm-hmm. And I think that, you know, money ran out. Instagram was beginning. Magazines were kind of less relevant in a way because we were getting all of our information very quickly through Instagram. And I just think they lost their place to a certain extent. And I sort of had to do a massive reinvention in 2020 in lockdown, thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do now? This is crazy. And so I started working with private clients. So that's how I got to where I am now, which is using my editorial knowledge with real women in real jobs doing real things. You know, most of my clients are mothers, a lot of them are business women, and they all have the same need for a sort of armor that clothing brings in a way that I don't think anything else can give a woman such confidence.
So I have so many questions, but so you did this for me, and I'm going to personalize this for a minute. When I lived in London from 2009 to 2014, I went through the hardest period of my entire life, and I had to go through a reinvention. And I don't know that you know this, but you were a key piece of my reinvention. You came over to my house and you said, these are the pieces that you can get rid of. And that was a very, very big pile of things I could get rid of. And these are the things that we need to start our journey toward a new, fresh look of who you are. And the confidence that you gave me to participate in the world of fashion, which I didn't think I had a right to be in, was confidence that took me through crisis and into reinvention and into thriving. And the chat that we had probably back in 2010 informs how I present myself every single day.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
And so I know there's even people out there that think focusing on fashion is anti-feminist, but actually anything that gives you the armor to perform at your best, especially as a woman, is absolutely feminist, pro-feminist, right?
Absolutely.
And so I loved the power of what you did for me. And one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on this podcast was I wanted people to understand the process that you use that girds women to show up, and men to show up as their best selves, to be the most impactful change makers, business people, mothers, whatever it is that they want to be good at. That's that ethos that you bring. So tell us a little bit about your approach to that and how do you do it? I mean, I know you've got this natural sense of cool and you just know what to wear, but how do you translate that to somebody else's taste or the brief that you've got commercially in front of you?
Well, I think the most important thing is I really like to meet my client before I start, because then I can see who they are, what their life is. I'm not going to take someone who's very preppy and American and lives in New York and try and make her look like a cool West London girl, because she's not going to want to do that. But I want to make her look the best version of herself. So I will always play to her strengths and figure out which parts of her body she's into, what parts of her body she likes to show. Because 9 times out of 10, if you are basically wearing a skirt that's shorter because you have great legs, you're going to feel better that day. You're going to feel great that day. You're going to be like, thank God I wore this skirt because I love my legs. I love getting them out. I'm not going to put someone in a shorter skirt if they hate their legs, because they're not going to feel good that day. So it's all about empowering the woman to feel the best version of her. I'm never trying to rewrite the story. So I have clients who live in Notting Hill and they want to look very vintagey and cool, and they want to wear dresses that no one else has. So I will literally, I call it sleuthing, hunt down the best pieces depending on their price point, because obviously there's loads of different vintage sellers and some of them are very expensive and some of them are less expensive. Then I always try and mix in some accessories that are actually in the now, so you would never know where this dress was from. You wouldn't know whether it was old or new or what it was, because I love my clients to look individual. What I don't love is, oh, that's the Valentino dress that's £7,000 and you're wearing it and we know how much that's worth. Therefore, when you walk into the room, everybody knows how much you've spent. That for me is really not fun, because I don't see the point in it, because that's just power through money, and that's kind of not interesting.
But that's
Whereas
what sucks.
I would rather the woman is like, oh, what is this brand? I don't know this brand. This brand is amazing. And yes, it might be an expensive brand, but they might not know it, and it might be fresh for them and new for them. And that's thrilling for me, because I want to introduce, by the way, not that I don't love Valentino, and I do, but it has to be for the right event at the right occasion where it really makes sense. Like I used Valentino for a client of mine who went to the king's coronation. And obviously that was a day where it was like major power dressing. Mm-hmm. And we found this beautiful pink dress with little bows down the front. And she was the happiest girl in the world. And she texted me afterwards and said, literally, I felt like $1 billion in the church.
Yeah, we don't want to feel insecure at the king's coronation,
do
we?
No, we don't. We don't. So you have to choose the right thing for the right moment, I think is what I'm trying to say. And I think that from just, I don't know whether it's my instinct or whether it's my childhood, because my mother was very much a fashion girl. I knew about Gianfranco Ferre when I was, 8. We were already deep diving into who Sonia Rykiel was from a very young age. We were always talking about fashion. So it's kind of in me. And then I trained in it.
And that pink dress was very informed by your mother's sensibility.
Because she loves pink.
A shout out to Dimity Ruby right now.
And it had
we
bows
love
down
it.
the front.
Yeah, we love it. Yeah.
Ruffles, bows, pink, we're off to the races. Throw some lace in, and that's why it's been the season of Chloe. Has been the most fun summer of my life because my big client, Sophia Tilbury, has been pregnant this summer, and Chloe suddenly, Shemena, arrives on the scene with this blockbuster collection of floaty chiffon dresses, and I was like, boom.
Perfect.
We have this pregnancy look all wrapped.
So let's talk about the contrast between the dress that's just expensive, and we know the provenance of it, and the look that was curated to really match the personality of the wearer. And I think that your superpower is joy.
Oh, that's really nice.
And you help people find joy in fashion. I find fashion, as you would say, unrelaxing. I feel intimidated by it. I feel overwhelmed by it. Even when you're talking about sleuthing for vintage, I'm like, that hurts my head just to think about going to vintage stores and trying to make sense of what's there because everything's a different size in vintage. You can't anchor into, is this dress a today size 4, a UK size 4? What is this, right? And all of that feels incredibly overwhelming to me. But one of the things I think you do, and even hearing about Devil Wears Prada, that's a joyless office that Miranda Priestley runs. She's sucking the life out of the people that work there. She shows no emotion. She's this 2D cutout of a person. There's no humanity there. And yet, everything I've ever done through knowing you through fashion is about sparking joy and enabling, just the whole story you talked about, Sophia Tilbury being pregnant and Chloe. And suddenly I'm like, wow, that kind of sounds fun to be pregnant in the summer of Chloe.
Oh, it
Not.
was. No, but it actually was. We actually had a great time, and her pregnancy was wonderful for clothes because I have to say, I would not normally say this, but I can say this to you. I did nail it. And she would say that too. We even put her in Chloe on her wedding day, and she looked like unbelievable. And it was such a fun project because she is in the public eye. She has a lot of followers on Instagram. Her career is soaring. She's doing, Kate Moss, Bella Hadid, Salma Hayek. I mean, everyone that's fabulous, she has done them at some point. Kate Moss, I mean, she's so talented. She also works with Harris Reed. She does the Nina Ricci show in Paris. And I dress her for all of these things because even she knows that it's so high pressured. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about, is the pressure. If you are in a situation where you, as all women do, we have imposter syndrome. Don't we? I mean, we just do. It doesn't. And I find women that are so talented, so powerful, so successful, financially rock solid, incredible salaries. I include my sister in this. She works in finance. Every woman seems to have this crazy moment. Not all the time, but it will just kick in where they just feel like, what the hell am I doing here? How did I get here? I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
100%. I go through that every day.
And clothes are a trick of the mind. So the minute you put on that fabulous, I'm a big believer in tailoring. I see that we're both wearing tailoring today for women. I think it is so important to feel in your brain. It just makes you feel more pulled together.
But I think what you're talking about is having a curated sense of presence. And, there was a Wall Street Journal article that came out earlier this year. You might get an aneurysm just when I tell you what it said. It said that you're being forced back into the office, but good news, you can wear a crop top and pajama pants back when you go. Now, one of the things I hear when we talk about young people in the workplace is I want to be able to work on my terms. I want to work flexibly. I want to wear whatever I want to wear. And I don't like that I'm being forced back in the office. And even worse, I don't like being told that I have to wear what you would call tailoring, would call a blazer or suit, something like that. I think people that are choosing to miss the nonverbal cue of presenting a curated presence to their people, their upward stakeholders, their lateral, their external stakeholders are missing a huge opportunity. And they're showing people, perhaps, you can't trust me with the big things because look how I'm handling the little thing of just getting dressed today.
I mean, this is really interesting. This takes me into menswear for a moment because I have 2 clients that are sort of more tech people. And in that world, it's like everyone's in a t-shirt, shorts, and
Because you have to look cool.
you got to look really cool and whatever. But at the end of the day, for the meetings, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
For any of them. And both of those clients are very young and they're very successful. One of them is extremely successful. And I just know that, you know, they actually love looking a bit smarter. They adore it. Because when they put that stuff on, they just feel good.
And they're probably not fashion people
They're
because
not
they're
fashion
tech
people. They're not fashion people at all. They don't even want to have to deal with the fashion. But they know that when they put it on, they're like, wow, I'm ready to go. And I love that face when it lights up and they're like, boom, nailing this. That's a thrill. And it's interesting that I think men can feel that too. It's not just the women
but it's
put the dress on and go, oof,
transmitting
this
trust.
is great. And then you feel ready for anything. You look the part.
Yeah.
And that's important, I think, as again, for the trick of the brain, especially with the women. You need to look the part in order to feel the part. And then when you feel the part, you can do anything.
And the
You
way we
literally
move the
can.
needle in business is by being influential, right? So we've got to influence people to buy our product, buy our service, invest in our company. All of those things require us to inspire trust, right? So it might be trust that I'm stylish and innovative and I'm wearing a t-shirt and a cool thing, or trust you can trust me with several million pounds or dollars to invest in this company because look, I'm rocking up in this suit today and I look like a grown-up, right? So for our listeners, a lot of whom are young men, we want you to be thinking about how to be curatorial about your presence, right? And how do we use, 90% of communication is nonverbal. Clothing is one of the most powerful ways we can transmit messaging to people. And I think it does confer a sense of self-assuredness and confidence. Let's talk about what you're wearing today and how you make some of these choices for your clients and for you, because every time I see you, I'm like, tell me what you're wearing. How did this happen? And you, of course, make it look easy, and you make it look easy for your clients, but it is definitely not.
Thanks, Bess. That's so sweet. I like to mix. I love brands like Reformation. That's a big favorite of mine. And everyone thinks that brand is for like kids. But actually,
I do, but
it's-
Reformation's not for kids.
No,
Okay.
it really isn't, because these are my favorite jeans. They're called the Val jean. I have
Val
them in
jean from
every color.
Reformation? Okay.
I have them in black. I have them in blue. I have them in white. They're not actually a barrel. You mentioned barrel earlier.
See what I know?
I don't like barrel jeans. They're not right
What
for
is
me.
this
This is just like
silhouette
it's like a
called?
boyfriend jean.
boyfriend
It's just
jean.
like you borrowed it from your boyfriend vibes. And then the loafer is very in at the moment. So I've got these old Chanel loafers on that I've had for years that are my favorites.
Thank God I'm wearing a loafer today. And you just said the loafer is in. I mean, this was a pressurized moment to figure out what to wear for this today.
Well, it's not surprising that we're in the Me Too era and menswear fashion for women seems to be very popular at the moment. It's like,
Tell me about your...
and my blazer is polo, Ralph
Okay.
Lauren, and I love polo. I love Ralph Lauren, but I love polo because it's really affordable, but it looks the same as, I just don't see the difference. Like, it's fabulous.
Okay, so for the uninitiated, help us understand what you mean when you're clear. There's people out there that will say, aren't polo and Ralph Lauren the same thing? Describe to people what the different...
The tiers.
The tiers are for a designer.
Okay, well, many designers have tiers, but
Okay.
I think Ralph is probably the one with the key. He's got the tiers nailed.
Okay.
So there's 3 categories. You've got Purple Label, which is the main line, which is the Catwalk collection, which is the really expensive collection. Then you've got Polo, where they give you the look, but in slightly less expensive fabric and more affordable
Okay.
prices. And then there's another even more exciting section, which is Double RL, which is the kind of more country western side of Ralph, which I love because I love a bit of a western
Okay.
belt or a cowboy boot. That's my other favorite go-to thing. Love cowboy boots, underdresses. Not necessarily in a Taylor Swift way, although I do love Taylor. But just they can be really useful. For
And
sort of
Western,
making
everything
things.
is really in.
I
Now,
love
is this
Western.
blazer vintage or is
So
it
this
now?
is brand new. It's
Okay.
right now. It's Polo Ralph Lauren. Everybody can go and get this blazer. It's
Darn
actually,
it, I think I just sent my tweed blazer to the charity shop.
No, get it back. Get that blazer back. There is a very big oversized blazer fashion that's in right now. I don't approve of that.
That's got quite
'Cause
Talking
it's very,
Heads
very-
vibe,
yeah.
doesn't it?
It's very hard to wear. It's so exaggerated. Like Marc Jacobs is also doing these exaggerated shoulders. The new Gucci collection is very huge shoulders, but that Demna has done. It's amazing, but wow, it's hard for the real woman. So I always like to translate what is the real woman going to wear? How are they going to translate that into everyday life? So my sister saw me in this. I actually bought this in Chicago when I was visiting Angus. And
Her son Angus,
My
who's at art
son.
school in Chicago.
yeah, he's at SAIC. Yay!
Love it.
And yeah, Antonia was like, "What is that jacket?" I said, "I bought it for the graduation ceremony." And I was wearing it the next day. And she's like, "I need you to go into the store literally within these working hours and get it for me in a size 4 and grab that jacket. And I'm wearing it tomorrow to work." Because she was working in her office while we were in Chicago. And I just was so thrilled that I'm in fashion and she's in finance, but it crosses over. We both need that blazer for the same feeling.
But it's how you
And it's so
differentiate.
empowering.
It's how she shows up with her humanity and her femininity at work. We don't need to diminish our femininity anymore. We used to have to dress like men, and we used to have to, find ourselves in some version of sexlessness in our apparel. And I'm talking about a long time ago, 30 years ago, we were all starting out. And now we get to show up as people.
And
And
talking
now
about
we
the J.C. Penney look, like the navy jacket and skirt.
with the giant Melanie Griffith
Yeah,
bow
yeah,
from
yeah.
Working
Yeah,
Girl
love
and the
Working
big
Girl.
shoulder pads and
we don't need to do that
I just
anymore.
remember being told, I worked for a Fortune 50 company, a global company, and they said, okay, you can have a suit with a skirt, and you had to wear, of course, pantyhose, right? Your suits can be in the following colors: black, gray, or navy blue. So we actually need you to neuter yourself in order to work here, right? We need you to show up
need
in
to
no
look
gender,
sexless. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sexless. And so now, the more I show up as a real woman, the more relatable I am. And so instead of showing up as this sexless person in a hideous, uncomfortable, boxy suit, and I did have the big bow.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was just terrible. And I don't know who that looks good on, but
No one.
Nobody. Okay, there we go. And now we get to show up as women.
We
and
can
your
translate-
sister
we can
gets
translate
to
the
be
tailoring.
good at finance and wear the cute blazer.
Although she does say that she needs to look extremely elegant, pulled together. Polished. It can't be too flamboyant because it's distracting,
Okay, so
which I think is correct, actually,
For-
for that type of world.
for people who may not be as fashion minded as you, which is almost everybody on this planet, what are the tips you have? Are there kind of 5 go-to things that you would suggest a normal person? I'm asking for a friend, me, that I could take forward, thinking about how to approach, the way I dress. Are there hard and fast rules that you use, or do you have a go-to capsule
Yeah.
kind of thinking, or what is it? Because you taught me how to build capsules.
Formula dressing.
Formula dressing, which I never did before. I shopped sales and I did impulse buying, and I looked like I was made of curtains and in the Von Trapp family all the time. It was terrible. And I've now learned that prints don't suit me. I'm short, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. But I'm very strategic about what I build into my capsule. And some of that was from living here, where my closet was literally an armoire. And it wasn't the big sprawling American closet. And so I had to get rid of stuff when I bought something new. So when you're buying something new, it wasn't just what am I willing to pay, but also what do I have to get rid of to make space in my wardrobe for this, number 1. But number 2, building anchored capsules out of a black capsule, a gray capsule, a navy capsule, a neutral capsule, whatever. Do you have any 5
do.
takeaways
I
that
do.
everyone should think about?
I really do. I feel that when women go shopping, because we are always going to want to shop, that's the lie of the land, because we want that feeling, we want that hit, don't we? Otherwise, there would be no fashion industry. We are all crazy.
Yeah.
We never have enough. We want to keep going. I have a rule with my clients, which is never, ever, ever buy separates. No.
Okay.
You have to buy the outfit on the day.
Okay.
So if you find the beautiful skirt that you're in love with, oh my God, I have to get this skirt. It's so incredible. You have to buy the top with the skirt.
Okay.
Because what happens is, I call it the land of the lost skirts.
I have a lot of lost skirts.
I walk into endless cupboards and I see thousands of skirts per year that are just hanging there lonely going, pick me, pick me.
They don't know what to do.
They don't know what to do.
Okay.
So you need to buy the outfit on the day.
Okay.
That blouse goes with that skirt, that's what and I'm always going to wear it with that. That's just take the stress away, because otherwise you wake up in the morning and you go, oh, what am I going to wear with this? So number one, never buy separate. So buy the trouser, great, but buy the polo neck or the roll neck or whatever you guys call it. This thing.
Turtleneck.
The turtleneck.
Turtleneck.
That goes with it, or the blouse.
Whatever you guys call this thing.
But everybody has different names for it, right?
Okay.
I think I call
I know
it
you guys call it a polo neck,
yeah.
here, but we do. Yeah, we call it a turtleneck.
So first of all, you don't have to spend loads of money on clothes.
Okay.
The idea that you have to spend tons of money on clothes.
Do you have any
is
cheat
wrong.
codes in terms of stores that
So-
can help you look great for less?
Well, cheat codes, absolutely, I do. I mean, are we doing in the UK or the US?
Let's try to do global brands. So
I'm gonna try, but
online.
oh, online. Well,
Okay.
I love this brand called Cézanne, which is French.
I love Cezanne.
It's really well priced. This polo neck is Cézanne. Genius.
Okay.
It only comes up to here, so it's not like
Yeah.
rolling over. That's the
Cezanne is
problem.
in the U.S.
And this little 3
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
buttons, love. So I love Cézanne. We spoke about Polo Ralph Lauren for tailoring, Reformation for jeans.
was sort
But
of
the
hoping
key
you were going to
thing
go
is
Uniqlo
we
or
need a belt. We need a designer belt and a designer shoe, because then if the clothes are not so expensive, you pop those little things on, and a bag. We need a great bag. We always need a great bag. At this point, I'm going to bring up my
Okay,
Fendi
can we
bag.
see the great bag you have?
Because if we have a great bag, a great belt, and a great shoe, the world is our oyster.
Wait, are you saying you could wear maybe a Uniqlo T-shirt if you have a
You
great belt?
absolutely can. Look, you're following my little totems.
Following my rules.
You're following my pillars
Okay.
of style. So
I
the
love
main
it.
thing is you have to figure out what colors do you feel comfortable in. If you don't like red, don't buy red. Don't think, oh, I need to try this out. I need to be better. No. If you love navy and you love cream, go with that and just have your key pieces that all I like to shop for my clients where everything works together. So
Okay.
it'll be gray, cream, let's say denim and navy. Those things always intermix and look great. So you never get confused when you wake up like, what am I wearing? Oh yeah, everything goes together. I almost create a separate section in the wardrobe, because then it's no man's land out there, because everyone goes, oh no, I can't get rid of that. I love that. I say, in 2 years' time, if it's still hanging there, we're putting it in
has
the
to
archive
go.
department.
Yes.
But women don't want to let go of their stuff. Men couldn't give a shit. They just throw it out. And men shop differently. They find one pair of trousers that they like. Can I have it in 5 colors?
Yes.
Oh my
Don't
God, I
you
love this t-shirt.
that?
Does it come in other colors? Yeah,
Yes.
it does. It
Get
comes
it
in
in
4
every color.
colorways. Get it in every color. Sweaters, same thing. They're like, I love this sweater. Where did you get it? Can I get more of them? Yes, we can, but it only comes in gray. Right, let's get 2 navy, 2 gray. Men shop in a way, the way that we should shop. Because if we find a trouser shape that we love, stick with that. Wear that. Because every morning you're going to go, ooh, what am I wearing? But if we have the plan, that blazer with that top, with that trouser, with that shoe, you actually do need to plan it out.
Okay, so you're doing the Reformation jean, the Cezanne turtleneck.
Cézanne, yeah.
Cezanne, sorry.
Cezanne. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, and then the polo blazer and a Gucci vintage loafer.
A
Talk
Chanel
to us.
vintage loafer.
Sorry.
I love Chanel. You can never not
Chanel.
invest in Chanel.
Okay.
And a Chanel ballet flat is my absolute go-to. 'Cause
Okay,
you
and
can
then
wear an
this
H&M
bag.
jean with a Chanel ballet flat. And how is everyone doing? Everyone's feeling fine.
Okay, tell me
know?
about your bag.
Oh my
Show
bag.
us the bag.
Okay,
Look
so
at this
is
whole
a
outfit.
Fendi, this is a Fendi Mama bag from the, I think it's from the late 90s, early 2000s in corduroy beige, which I found in Portobello Market on Saturday night. And I was very excited because it's ticking that like mini bag look, which I can't do because I need to fit my stuff in it.
I know.
The mini bag look doesn't work. So it's like little big sister of the mini bag. I thought it was fun.
Okay,
So, yeah.
and even if you don't live in a major city with a Portobello Road market, you can now go on like Poshmark and things and buy vintage things.
Yeah, this is from Cash London, and I don't know.
Cash London. Okay.
She curates. She goes to Italy and she finds amazing stuff.
Corduroy
and she brings
Fendi
it
bags.
back to the UK. Yeah.
Do you have any other tips for how you can navigate the world of vintage?
I do. But you'd have to come with me to Portobello Road. So I have like my main
is that an
people that I
invitation?
work with.
Do I get
there.
to come with?
Oh yeah,
this
definitely.
is so exciting.
I work with Lovers Lane. I work with One of a Kind. I have a great dealer called Mairead Lewin Vintage. I work with Turner Vintage.
So would you say when you're creating looks, you're always anchoring into a vintage piece, or it's not a hard and fast rule?
I think I use vintage mostly for events. That's really where that
to make
comes
sure
in.
that your client
isn't
isn't repeating something.
Wear something that someone else is wearing. That makes me very tense. And that has happened. And I have had a phone call where my client was wearing the same thing, weirdly, as another client. I didn't style the other client for that party, but they were in the same dress. That was not good. So that's why I'm very nervous about ready to wear for big events, because you could bump into yourself. It's always a terror and a risk. I mean, I did a client this summer for Ascot, which was such a fun project.
Because you get to pick the hat too, right?
And that was just so fun. We went to Philip Tracy, and he was actually in the store, which was
amazing. Philip Tracy is the famous milliner that does a lot of work for the royal family.
Exactly. So we weren't expecting him necessarily to be there. And I had actually worked with him at Harper's many moons ago. We did a shoot with David Bailey, and he is dreamy. And it was real. I don't know whether he did really remember me, but he pretended that he did, which was very sweet. And he took care of her. We were with him for like a good 40 minutes choosing this hat to go with this. I mean, it was wonderful. It was really fun. I love doing event dressing. That's something.
That's your favorite thing?
Well, it's just more inspiring because there are more elements to it, you know.
And you get to really sort of be creative.
You get to be creative. And I love doing brides. Brides is my other thing. I just did Sarah Woodhead Bacon's wedding gown. So that was very exciting. We did that in Paris with Giambattista Valli. Yeah, so those kind of moments are just, you know, it was worth all those years in the cupboard to get to that.
All the years in the cupboard.
Yes.
So I just love this idea of you bringing this sort of joyful, authentic approach to your client's work, right? And for people to take away from our conversation today, we want to be thinking about having a curated sense of presence. Mm-hmm. We want to be thinking about mixing timeless pieces like a great belt with maybe cheap and cheerful things, like a Uniqlo t-shirt.
Absolutely.
Maybe not your favorite brand for me to mention, but
I like Uniqlo.
Right?
I love Uniqlo sweaters. They're so cute. And I love Zara.
And then finding accessible pieces that the really cool designer does. We have Purple Label Ralph Lauren, but you can also come in at the Polo point and find something accessible. Any other parting thoughts for people to think about how to approach fashion more curatorially in their own lives?
I think they really need to know if they have that feeling. You know, sometimes halfway through the day you go, "Oh my God, I hate my outfit."
I can't believe you feel that.
Oh, yeah.
I feel that all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I have that feeling a lot.
I can't believe it.
No, I do. And I think to myself, we're not doing this look again. No. What's wrong with it and how do we fix it? So, for example, I think since COVID, we're all in flat shoes, aren't we? We didn't used to always be in flat shoes. I feel like we used to wear heels. I find it really tricky to wear heels at the moment, but I know that when I put a heel on, I do feel better.
I've noticed that. But, you know, I always put on a heel when I have to do a speech in public because it makes me feel taller
you feel more
and confident.
Absolutely.
Always. And I'm a little uncomfortable, but actually it's the discomfort that tricks my brain into thinking it's time to perform.
Yeah.
So, but I do wear heels a lot less. I wear dresses a lot less since the pandemic as well.
I still love dresses because it's a one-hit pony. You just pop that dress on and you're done. Love. Pair of tights and some flats and you're ready to go to work. So don't underestimate the dress. The dress is an easy solution. You know, it's a quick fix. It's just suddenly you're like very pulled together. But I know we don't normally wear them now, do we? We're sort of over dresses, but I still love a dress. I think they're great. I think also what is important for winter, I know we're going into winter. I'm going to be seasonal now. We need two really great things for winter. We need
what are they?
A great coat.
Okay.
So invest in your coat. I don't think we should do a high street coat.
Okay.
I think we should invest. Do you want me to throw brands out there?
Yes, please.
I always love Max Mara.
Max Mara, does a really good coat.
You just can't go wrong with Max Mara. It just does a great coat. But also it's worth investigating, like on Net-a-Porter, I still use Net, and I do shop in Selfridges, and I do use My Teresa, which only has a one-day delivery, by the way, from Germany, so don't be put off that. Everyone's like, oh, it's in Germany, I'm not using it. They have a great edit.
Okay.
But if you look through something like Net-a-Porter and you really, really curate your time, you will find that you can do the filter where it goes from lowest to highest.
Okay.
And that's sometimes when I find the great brands. I'm like, what is this new brand? That looks incredible. And it's only, £400 for a great looking coat. So it's worth doing a bit of research, I think.
Okay.
And finding a silhouette that you might be inspired by and saying, that's what I want, that's how I want to look. That's what I basically do, Betsy, is that I try and do like a mood board for my client of people that we think look great.
Yep.
And then they look through that and they're like, oh, yes, I love that look. And then everyone is super clear about what is the destination that we're getting to.
So you could do that for yourself. You could do a mood board for yourself.
You could, but I don't. But I should.
But the cobbler's kids have no shoes. But as a tip for our listeners, they could do a mood board and keep track of the people whose clothes they love.
Yeah, and they just basically go, ooh, that's a look that I love. I love a long coat with a slightly baggy jean and a little fitted sweater. That feels right for me. I love that. And then they go and they know that they're hunting for that. And it just all comes together much more quickly than just stabbing in the dark. Because I think humans respond really well to visuals. I never really talk through an idea with a client. I'm more like, this is what I'm talking about. You put a white shirt with a navy coat and a blue jean, and you're in all the shades of blue. You're never going to go wrong. And you can throw a black shoe with a navy coat because the French always put black and navy together. And
you were the one that taught me that. And I've worn black and navy together. And every time I do, I get a million compliments on it. But it takes courage to do that.
It takes courage because we're programmed not to. I'm not going to talk about white shoes, but my mother said that white shoes are a no-no. But they can be fun. But I don't have any, so we're not going to push
There
that.
we go.
Apart from on my wedding day.
So I'm going to shock you. We've been talking for 40 minutes.
That felt like 10.
I know. And what I would say is, would you consider coming back on? Because I think we need to do further episodes on this. As you can see, Fiona is why people feel confident when they're doing things like a king's coronation or a big premiere or a huge moment where you're trying to get financial support for your business. You're a great friend to me, but you're also a great friend to your clients because you understand that they're people and that they have a job to do with the presence that they put forth. I appreciate your sharing some of your sensibilities and your strategies with our listeners today, because I think even if you're not a big fashion budget person, or if you're not somebody who thinks about fashion, you should still be thinking about how you show up in business and how you show up in your life and what you're signaling to people by what you're choosing to put out there. Top tip, no crop tops and pajama pants, please, right?
No,
so
never.
I think that we can make choices that inspire trust, and we can show people that you can trust us with money and talent and time and all these things that we have to signal. And I think you've given us so many great strategies for doing that today. Do you have any parting pieces of wisdom as we wrap up?
I was just thinking about emotion.
Yeah.
And I was thinking how, those days when you wake up and you're like, oh, I want to wear a crop top. Well, I don't want to wear a crop top, but, a sweatshirt and some trackies. That is an absolute no-no, because what that triggers in the brain is everything's over. It's the end of days, and is there a bus coming soon to take me away? It's just not good.
Resist it. Resist the urge with everything you have.
Don't do the trackies. Don't do it, because there's just no point.
Those are what we call sweatpants.
You're going to have the worst day. You just are. It's not going to go well for you. Everything's going to go wrong, and you're probably going to bump into the love of your life who dumped you, and even though you're happily married, you would have liked to have been wearing something prettier that day. So that's something my mother told me. And the French always say, put your lipstick on. Because you never know who you're going to bump into, and it just gives you a little bit of a lift, or whatever it is, your mascara or your blusher, or or all three.
Go a little bit of a lift.
Just a lift, because I think we need that, and it's a very weird world that we're in right now, and we need as much help as we can get. And it's amazing how when you then go, actually, I'm going to have a shower, I'm going to wash my hair, I'm going to put the nice outfit on today, my new favorite top, on the day that you weren't going to do that.
And everything changes.
Feel better. People respond to you. Everyone responds to you better. And then guess what? We have a better day.
Yeah.
You come home and you go, oh, that wasn't so bad after all. I'm telling you right now, if you stayed in the trackie, it would have been a bad day.
So I love that we're ending on joy, which I think is your superpower and your secret weapon in helping women and men access fashion as a way to send messages about who they are. I really appreciate you spending time with us today. For people to get more information about you, where can they learn more?
Probably on my Instagram,
Fiona Rubie,
which I hardly post on.
but you post some really great stuff on there.
You can find me on there. You can DM me
on Instagram at Fiona Rubie.
Yeah, it's just at Fiona Rubie. It's my name. Exactly.
Okay. Thank you for inspiring all of us today with your magic and your sensibilities and your approach to fashion in a way that makes even people like me feel more confident and more presented.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Bets.
Thanks,
It's been
Fee.
so much fun. Thank you.